Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh Bashim Shai, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Yahweh Bashim Shai Brakathum to you, hopefully elect out there. And this is pretty much going to be like a news update and prophecy. I'm just going to speak on. I got some articles and things I've got queued up, because I've been trying to do one of these for some weeks now, but every time I think I'm gonna come around to do one, I try to come around to do one. It's just like new information is coming out because it's damn nearly impossible to keep up with everything that's going on. But being that we are in the spirit of prophecy, being that we are in the time of prophecy, there's a, it just makes sense why there's a lot of things going on right now. And since I quoted it, or the Spirit had me quote it, I'll go ahead and get that in Revelation chapter 19. Revelation chapter 19 and verse 10, it says, "And I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, See thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahweh Shai. Worship Yahweh, for the testimony of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy." All right. And again, being that we are in the time of prophecy and the Lord is ramping things up on the behalf of the elect. All right. Um, because amen. Um, like I said, the Lord is speeding things up on the behalf of the elect because, you know, these people, man, they're so looking forward to the future, planning for the next 20, 50, 100 years, man, down the line. When if the Lord really allowed us to be here that long, man, then the scriptures also talk about how there would be no flesh to be saved, man. So we got to get out of here, man. I know brothers is going through different things, different situations. You know, the afflictions are ramping up. The amen. It's time to get out of here. So again, it only makes sense. The Lord is speeding this thing up. All right. But Lord's will, we get through this. Lord's will, we be of that number and we get through this because the times that we're coming into, man, is getting ready to get tough. Like I said, being that the afflictions that we're going through now, man, it seems like Satan's come on harder with the attacks. But um, again, man, Lord's will be of that number because it's going to get tough out here, man. Here it is. People are thinking that people are still under this under the illusion that things are going to get back to quote unquote normal, right? Where when you had this guy, Dr. Fauci, even talk about how this whole C-19 thing, man, it's not over yet. You know, he even said it. And, it's pretty much it's not over yet. You know, and meanwhile, people again, they're thinking that it's going to get better, right? We're going to get back to prior to 2019 or before 2019, right? Well, them days is over, man. And um, again, when being that again, this is the time of prophecy, and we're in the spirit of prophesying, right? And when you see how the Lord is putting things together, man, when you see how the Lord is basically connecting the dots, all right, because we've been given, so to say, a general outlook, because we know the famines are coming, we know the pestilences are coming, but we haven't been given the details, so to say, on how these things are going to come about. But again, being that we're in the spirit of prophecy, prophesying, again, we're more and more we're seeing how the Lord is basically putting the pieces to the puzzle. We're more and more seeing how the Lord's putting this together. All right. But before I start rambling, I'm gonna go ahead and just get into it. Like I said, I got some articles queued up. I'm just gonna speak on a few things, and of course, get into the scriptures. All right. But one thing that we're talking about, well, two things. All right, which comes to show you, because you gotta ask yourself, and I've said this before. You gotta ask the question, because Esau, he always comes out with these numbers. He always comes out with these predictions, right? You know, um, he always comes out with these numbers, these calculations. And you gotta ask, you gotta wonder, well, how is he able to come up with these calculations? Because most of the stuff is orchestrated by Esau. You see, Most of the stuff is orchestrated by Esau Edom. All right. But again, two things I'm gonna start by speaking on was the fact that they're predicting um, pretty much like a hot summer. All right, you know, like a black summer, because here it is. Gas just reached another all-time high, I think. See if I got something queued up here dealing with that. I got one queued up here. It says gas prices on the rise as GDP numbers raise concerns about a possible recession, and that's another thing that we're talking about, which we're pretty much already in a recession. All right, but the talks about a recession, you see, with those, with all this inflation that's been going on, you know, the price of everything is just, is still steadily going up, you know, um, but I'm gonna read this. It says gas prices are once again rising, with the national average now around $4.14 per gallon. All right, so this is like a national average. All right, nationwide, average. It says Democrats, and that's just the average. Like some places, like I think California, man, gas prices are like somewhere around between $6 and $8, man. $7, man. You see. Um, It says Democrats are proposing new legislation to give the Federal Trade Commission increased authority to crack down on price gouging. Right. So, yeah, I'm not gonna read all that, but yeah, that the national average being over $4 now for gas, right? Um, and you see, man, again, going back to how they're talking about they're predicting like a hot summer, man, like a black summer, because um another thing that I've been keeping up with this situation in Sri Lanka, right? Where now they have like a state of emergency over there, and I think they got a curfew now because the situation is so dire over there. It's so bad over there. The inflation is so high over there. You know, it's damn nearly impossible to live over there, man. Um, um, and now it's to the point because, like I said, they got like um, curfews now, and people are defying those curfews. People are saying the hell with that. You got all type of protests and riots going on over there, clashes with the civilians and the law enforcement over there, right? You see, man, and now it's to the point where um, now I don't know if this is verified or not, but I saw a few things that were talking about how the basically I think it was the local law enforcement, or it might be it might actually be the military, if I'm not mistaken. It might actually be the military, but they've basically been given the green light to shoot protesters. All right, see if I can find that real quick. They've been given the green light to shoot protesters. See if I can find something on that. Just bear with me real quick. So yeah, I got, like I said, I got a bunch of articles queued up, man. I got this one article here. It says current riots in America indicates a long hot summer. Blue Democrat governors can stop it. Like I said, they're predicting this summer to be a long hot summer, man. Because again, with the price of everything's going up, man. You know, and like over there in Sri Lanka, to where they're suffering all type of not just food shortages, but they have fuel shortages. They're having rolling blackouts because they don't have enough energy to pretty much go around. So they're having rolling blackouts, right? You see, and again, because hey, you know, um, that all that stuff is going to come over here. all that stuff was going to come over here. And they were talking about what these whole protests going on with this whole Roe versus Wade, overturning of the Roe versus Wade, which let me just say this, because that whole Roe versus Wade thing, that's not going, from what I was looking into it, I think, because the whole Roe versus Wade thing is not necessarily a thing of them, it's basically the government transferring, power to the states, you see, because I think people, they were talking about how this, the whole Roe versus, overturning the whole Roe versus Wade, it's just doing away with the abortions completely. But like I said, for what I've been looking into, it's just more so, transferring that power to the states, if I'm not mistaken. But nevertheless, with that whole thing, they were talking about how that could possibly, um, we could see another insurrection like what we did last year in January the 6th, January 6th, at the Capitol, right? They said that, this could turn into that, which, hey, Lord's will it does. All right, because again, we're ready to get the hell up out of here, man. You see, this is why we're so, keen and focused on prophecy, because this is how we measure the times, you know. This is how we measure the times, man. Stay occupied in prophecy, as the scriptures say, right? But nevertheless, one thing is going to lead to another. All right, because the situation is going to become so dire, so desperate. Like right now, you got this whole, um, baby formula shortage, right? In certain stores, they're basically going back to rationing. They're basically rationing their baby formula because they don't have enough. You see, as a matter of fact, like I said before, I don't want to ramble too much. I'm trying to get some precepts. I'm gonna get this. Now this applied. You can apply this today, because the scriptures say no new thing under the sun. But more so, this took place during the time Yahushua, he was warning the Israelites about the time when, um um during the time of Rome, Yahushua was warning them about the siege of Jerusalem around 69, between 69 to 71 AD. But like I said, you can apply it to now. But I'm gonna read this in Matthew chapter 24, in verse 19. It says, "And woe unto them that are, excuse me, and woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days." You see, because um, this is not the time now to be trying to establish, families, and be America's top dad, and this is not the time for all that. You see, this isn't the time to be a family man. Now, of course, I'm not saying, because some of us do have wives and children. We're not saying to neglect your responsibilities, because like I said, some of us do have children, wives, and things of that nature, and it's not to neglect your duties. But nevertheless, this isn't the time to be trying to establish yourself in the society, in the Esau system. All right, because ultimately Yahushua is going to come to bring his system down. He's coming to take Esau out of power. He's coming to destroy the system. You know, so it's just best to make do with what we got, man. Because again, we're almost out of here, man. And like I said, the way that the devil's ramping up these attacks, man. Take it as a thing of, because here it is, he's ramping up on the left hand. Well, hey, it only makes sense that we ramp up on the right, in righteousness. You know, because, hey, man, I believe the spiritual power is coming, man. The spiritual power is right around the corner. Like I said, it only makes sense because, like I said, the afflictions, man, they're Satan's coming harder with the attacks, you know. But nevertheless, I'm gonna read that again. "And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days." So you see, man, because it's crazy. Because I was watching a movie. With my rib. Um, we watched a Quiet Place 2. We watched a Quiet Place 2, and it's crazy because, and I told her this, because she in the movie, you had the mother, and basically they were on the go with the kids. She was on the go with the kids, and she had a newborn with her, right? And they came across I believe it was the husband, because the spoiler alert if you haven't seen the movie. in the first part, the husband, he got killed. All right. So in this second part, like I said, she had a newborn and two older children, right? And they ended up coming across the brother's the husband's brother, right? You see, which he was by himself. He was a loner, you know, and all the problems didn't really start coming about until, he took them in, you know, um, because I was telling, because she had made a statement about how, well, she had made this statement about how, what, imagine this being in real life, and I told her like this is going to be a real life, and you see, and that day when all hell's breaking loose, just to keep it quiet, just to keep it frank, women and children are going to be a burden in that day, especially children. They're going to be a burden in that day. You see, man. So again, like I said, some of us already in a position where we have wives and children, and eh, hey, Lord's will the Lord, the Spirit bees with us, because that's the only way we're going to be able to make it. But um, again, this is not the time to be trying to, have babies and establish yourself, and like I said, trying to get the father of the year award. This isn't the time for all that. All right, and that's why when Yahweh Shah was on the cross, if I'm not mistaken, if he was when he was on the cross, and you had the women, they were weeping, and he said the Lord told them, "Don't weep for me, weep for your children." And again, because again, Yahweh Shai, he was warning them of, the siege of Jerusalem, but nevertheless, it can also be applied to this time. You see, because when you read verse 19, it says, I'm sorry, verse 20 says, "But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day." All right, because going back to, like I said, two things. If they were predicting they're predicting the summer to be a hot summer with the cost of, everything going up, inflation, right? Because this is typically the time where, people like to travel, right? And they were talking about cutting back on energy. Basically, like I mentioned with Sri Lanka, with the rolling blackouts to preserve energy, they're basically in a roundabout way. They were talking about that, doing that here. You see, because this whole thing with Russia and the Ukraine, that's just a ploy. All right, that's just an excuse. Russia and the Ukraine, that has nothing to do with, you know the gas, because America's already been a failing economy. All right, America's already been a failing economy. But you see, they use these scapegoats like Russia and Ukraine, the C-19, right, to use that as an excuse to why this economy is going down. But America's already been a failing economy. You see, and you have a lot of Edomites even starting to realize this. Like this stuff, what the West is propagating, it has nothing to do with why inflation. It's only getting worse, because that's another article I had saved up, man. Going going into how they're talking about this inflation. It's not going away, man. It's not going to get better, right? See if I got that somewhere. Like I said, man, I have a lot of articles, so just bear with me, man. That's why I just, instead of trying to do videos on each and every one of these, I just, speak on these things. But you got this guy Bill Gates. I think it was Bill Gates talking about a permanent lockdowns, if I'm not mistaken. Just like I mentioned with Dr. Fauci, he said it. This C-19 thing is not going anywhere, But yeah, man, the gas, the U.S. gas, man, it's hit new record high. You know, U.S. gasoline prices just hit new record ahead of summer driving season. So, like I said, summer's typically the time where a lot of people like to travel the most. You know, so hey, man, it's going to ramp up. And again, I'd brothers be saying get comfortable but get uncomfortable, because hey, like I said, that's um with the inflictions, man. Currently the effects of this inflation, man. It's starting to hit me personally. They just um with they just up my rent, and I'm not gonna be surprised if they, with our energy bills and stuff like that, man. I'm not gonna be surprised if it starts going up. But hey, the hell with it, just gotta, we have to have the attitude and the mindset that the Lord's gonna take care of us, man. Because I mean, you sit around. And I'm speaking to myself, man. If you sit around and just let the stuff bug you out, bills, financial issues, whatever it is, man. If you sit around and just let the stuff bug you out, man, that's what's gonna happen. You're gonna end up getting bugged out. So ultimately, man, we just gotta focus on doing the work, and the scriptures tell us to leave it cast all of our cares onto the Lord. Leave it in His hands, man. Because we just have the mindset that the Lord's gonna take care of it, man. You know. Um. So yeah, man. Like I said, yeah, I got one here. It says that economist says inflation issues won't go away anytime soon. You see, so inflation's not going away, man. And as Elder Apostle Tahar often says, man, an inflation that when it goes unchecked, eventually it turns to hyperinflation. You see, so places like Sri Lanka, talk about them a lot. All right, Turkey, I believe that's another article I've got saved up. But let me see if I was what I was talking about. You got the stock market is plunging. Matter of fact, let me get a scripture on that real quick if I can find that. Just bear with me real quick. Zephaniah. I was in Zechariah. Zephaniah 1. Zephaniah 1. Zephaniah chapter 1. Zephaniah chapter 1, starting at verse 10, it says, "And it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord, that there shall be the noise of a cry from the fish gate, and an howling from the second, and a great crashing from the hills. Howl, ye inhabitants of Mektesh, for all the merchant people are cut down, all they that bear silver are cut off." So you see, all right, and Mektesh is basically like I said, it's basically like modern day Wall Street and the stock market, and things pertaining to that. You see, because um again, man, this dollar, and I believe I saw another article going into how like 80% of these 80% of world countries, man, if I'm not mistaken, the numbers could be exaggerated a little bit, but basically you got a lot of these nations preparing for a digital currency, you know, because hey, you got Saudi Arabia, they're talking about doing deals with I think it's either China or Russia, right? And if they do that, because if they make that move, um, that means they're gonna do it. They're gonna go away from the dollar. And if they make that deal, then the dollar is like I said, the dollar's already on its way out. But if Saudi Arabia makes that move, then the dollar is really done for, man. It's really done ski. It's done for. You know, um, but yeah, man. The talks of this inflation. It talks about how it's only going to get worse, man. Inflation will keep increasing. You see, it says market expert warns over stock market plunge. I got another one. It says, I've got another one. It says the Dow drops 400 points. Stock sell off continues as Fed hangover slams market. And it says stocks fell on Monday while rates surged, with investors trying to recover from last week's volatile market swings, even as experts warned that rising risks to economic growth could lead to further outturns. So you see, man, like I said, America's already a failing economy. This place is on its way out of here. So again, trying to, like I said before, you know, establish yourself in a failing economy, man. It's not gonna work, man. It's not gonna work. You know, yeah, I mentioned with the nationwide baby food shortage. I mentioned that, but there was a particular article. Because like I said, all this leading into this summer. Like I said, they were talking about this. This is why they were talking about this being a hot summer. Um, so yeah, like I got another article here. It says California imposes curbs on water usage emergency restrictions from June 1st. Water crisis has hit U.S. California. California has now imposed curbs on water usage. New emergency restrictions will start from June 1st. So man. And again, this is going to cause all type of. Like I said, this is going to lead. One thing is going to lead to another. All right. And like out there in Sri Lanka, man, where um, people are protesting, man. People are rioting. Because when you back the people into a corner, man, they're going to come out swinging eventually. And this is what more and more we're going to start seeing here. All right, Esau. Because like I said, most of this is orchestrated anyways. You see, Esau, he's trying to get the people to react a certain way. All right, so it could justify him in bringing in his order. But you see, it's going to get to a point where things are going to get so out of hand and things are going to get so chaotic. Esau, he's not going to be able to have control because that's what he wants. He wants to control chaos. But he's not going to be able to control this because ultimately it's going to be the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai. You see? So when this chaos ensues, man, when it all hell breaks loose out here, it's going to, Esau, he's not going to be able to do anything about it. Um, so you can expect anarchy very soon. You can expect anarchy with the whole strain on the U.S. Food supply. I mean, you know, the strain on the U.S. food supply, right? Them shelves are getting more and more empty, right? They're getting more and more empty, right? I also saw something about Nigeria, man. Because this is going on other places, to where with the whole food supply, food shortages, fuel shortages, people are resorting to looting. With the scriptures going to that, you know, um, you got bandits out there. I think it's Nigeria, you know, um, because again, there's a lack of food, man. There's a shortage of food, you know. Matter of fact, because this describes what's going on in places like Nigeria and other places. This describes what's going on perfectly. I'm gonna find this in Second Esdras. Second Esdras. Second Esdras. verse 6. I'll start at verse 20. It says, and when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, because again, the scriptures talk about the fashion of this world is passing away, because again, ultimately the Lord is coming to take this system down completely. You see, we're not going back to prior to 2019, man. This, them days is over. Speaking of, I mentioned, I read in Zephaniah, the first chapter. I believe in that same chapter goes into how what you can look forward to in this society is a dark future, man. It's a dark and gloomy days ahead. That's what you can look forward to. That's America's future, right? The fashion of this world is the Lord is closing the curtain on this place. It says, then will I show these tokens? The book shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall see all together. And the children of a year old shall speak with their voices, which this is taking place, right? It says the woman with child shall bring forth untimely children. Again, this is taking place. Of 3 or 4 months old, and they shall live and be raised up. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, and the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. You see? And again, this is what's taking place. Like I said, the shelves are becoming more and more empty. Food is going to become more and more scarce, right? You can expect, because eventually it's going to get to a point where we're going to have these food shortages. We're going to have these fuel shortages. We're going to have these rolling blackouts. They're, talking about these, what do you call it? These, saw Dabu 7 did a few videos on it, going into the power grid structure. Like I saw one video about Dabu 7. It says power grid operators warn of potential electricity shortages could last several years. And I believe that you had a which again, because stuff like this, it may not people overlook a lot of this stuff, but you actually had a cyber attack. Double Seven did a video on this. You had a cyber attack that crippled a top U.S. tractor marketer, and it says it has adversely affected production. So you see, all right, they're going after the agriculture. You see, this is going to affect the agriculture. So you see, like I said, cyber attack cripples the top U.S. tractor marketer, and people look right over that. But you gotta, again, you can't. The scripture say, "Don't be ignorant in any small matter or great." Roughly paraphrasing. You see, man. That again, people they look over this stuff. All right, because hey, eventually the lights are gonna go off on this place. The Lord's gonna completely, unplug the lights out this place, man. You see, and that's when it's really gonna be on, man. Because again, from there, if there's no electricity, then you pretty much you can't do anything. Most of these cars that we drive today, they run off electricity. They run off electricity, so you won't be able to drive anywhere. You won't be able to access, your money in the bank. So hey, nevertheless, this is what we look forward to. This is what we can look forward to. Lord's will, I'm gonna get that scripture, but I'm gonna go back to this in 2 Ezra chapter 6. 2 Ezra chapter 6, verse 22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. And it's going to be like some scene straight out of a movie. You're going to have people, looting these stores, man, robbing the stores, just going up in there and taking what they want. Pharmacies, pharmaceuticals, right? It's going to be like some scene straight out of a movie. It says, and the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. And that's why in Jeremiah the 30th chapter, man, it goes into we've heard a sound of fear, of trembling, and then it goes into the why is it every man with his hands about his loins, as if he's about to give birth. We're roughly paraphrasing it. All right, you see, because hey, man, the Lord's getting ready to bring some. He's getting ready to humble this place. you know, and he's getting ready to bring a level of fear. You see, because again, you know, when you're starving, man, and you know, you got kids, man, you know, you don't know what to do. Like I said, you can't you can't access money from your bank. There's no food in the shelves. As I mentioned, the nationwide baby formula shortage, food rationings. You know, you see, man, because you people aren't you're not established in the fear of Yahweh Shema Shai. You see, you're not established in the faith because, like I said, you know, hey, like I mentioned, man, you know, I said some of this inflation stuff is starting to affect me directly, man, me and my family, you know, but you know, I'm just, you know, it's like whatever, man, you know, the Lord's gonna take care of this somehow, some way. The Lord's gonna pull through, all right, as well as the rest of the hopefully elect. But these people, they don't have that faith, you know, they don't have that faith, man. So this is why you people, man, when it comes down to it, you people, man, you're not gonna know what to do. You're not gonna know where to go or anything. You're not gonna know what to do, you know. But it says, at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. All right. So we get another one. Yeah, you know, that's another thing. You know, when there's no food on the shelves, and this is why we got to be careful how we deal the people that we're bringing in our circle, man, because you know, one thing, people are watching. You know, people are watching. You know, and it's just a matter of time before these, you know, the Lord gives these spirits the green light. You see, people that you thought were your friends, you know, your neighbors, or whatever the case may be. Well, when the time comes, those will be the same people trying to run up in your house, man, and take your food. Like I said with Nigeria, man, you know, hey, them people over there, but they're because there's no food. They're traveling from, you know, villages to villages, or you know, whatever the case may be. All right, and just mowing people down, looking for resources, man. You know, and that's in the scriptures. Let me get this. Second Esdras, Second Esdras chapter 16. I'm just going to read verse 31. It says, "Even so, in those days there shall be 3 or 4 left by them that even in even so in those days there shall be 3 or 4 left by them that search their houses with the sword." So you see, you're gonna have people again when it's all said and done, and there's no food, and again we're already starting to see this on a low level because again with this whole thing with the gas prices, you got people robbing other people for their gas. What do they call it? The ciphering of the gas, man. You know, where people are taking gas out of other people's vehicles, right? We're already starting to see this on a low level, you know. But again, it says, even so, in those days there shall be 3 or 4 left by them that search their houses with the sword. So you see, you're gonna have people traveling in packs, looking for resources, you know, looking for goods, food, essentials, basic essentials. All right, because they, you know, again, man, when it comes down to it, you know, let me get this real quick. Because the spirit that the Lord is gonna have on these people out here, man, it's. Let's see if I can find this. Look for this real quick. I'm gonna read this in Second Peter chapter 2, verse 12. "But these, as natural brute beasts, made to be taken and destroyed, speak evil of the things that they understand not, and shall utterly perish in their own corruption." All right, because basically, when it comes down to the 2/3, all right, basically the Lord just has them out. They're useless eaters. All right, you see, So when it comes down to the 2/3, the Lord just has them here just to be made an example out of. You see, like I said, on this side they're useless eaters, man. They're worthless. They're, as the prophecy states, they're rejected. They're cut off. All right. You know, on this side, the Lord doesn't love them on this side, and the Lord set them up to be destroyed on this side, and to be made an example of. Right. Ultimately, all right. When it comes to the 2/3, but it talked about the natural brute beast, and you see that's the spirit that the Lord's going to have on these people out here, man. They're going to become brute beasts. You know, all sense of morality, all sense of you know, compassion, all that is going to be, it's going to go out the window, and these people are going to be turned into brute beasts. You know, it's going to be a dog world out here, man. These people, they're going to turn into animals out here. You see, so you know, people traveling from place to place looking for resources. Women are going to get raped. Children are going to get raped. All right, cannibalism is coming back. All these things, man. You know, um, um, I mean, this article here, because like I mentioned with the they're predicting a hot summer, right? Well, and as I mentioned, they talking about how this C-19 is not going away, right? Well, I got this article here. It says officials warn 100 million Americans could get the C-19 this fall / winter. You see, so not only could it possibly be a hot summer, but hey, going back to Matthew chapter 24. Matthew chapter 24. I'm gonna read that again in verse Matthew chapter 24. Matthew 24 and verse 20 again. It says, "But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day." So you see, so like I said, not only could there possibly be this could be a possible black summer. All right, a hot summer. I keep saying black summer, but a hot summer. All right, where energy could energy could go up. AC bills, water, all these things could go up. All right, you see, man, and again with this inflation, man, with the gas is going up, and just everything going up, the cost of living is going up, rent going, everything's going up, right? But meanwhile, our wages are staying the same, pretty much. The wages that we make is not matching up to you know the cost of everything is going up. It's not matching. It's not matching up with it. You know, you see, man, and more and more it's going to become more difficult to live, to survive, man. More and more it's going to become more and more difficult to survive, man. Again, that's gonna put people in a position to where you know people are going to lose it. You know, you see, this is all things that we can see possibly this summer. But not only that, as I read, with the whole C-19, right? And they're talking about how they discovered a whole bunch of other different pestilences and diseases, right? With this bird flu, they're talking about these pestilences that can be transferred from animals to humans. You see, and when that winter time comes around, man, this is typically the time where people get sick, and the flu season and all that stuff, right? People are more prone to getting sick, right? So hey, it could be one hell of a winter as well. It could be a harsh summer. It could be a harsh winter. So there's no you know like I said, man. This is, hey, Lord's will. This is it, man. Lord's will. This is it. You know, because again, with all that being said, like I said, with the inflation and everything going up, that could lead to more and more protests and riots. All right, people tearing the streets up, looting and rioting. You know, um, we could possibly see that charagma, the Revelation 13, 16, and 17 being rolled out. Because again, the dollar's on its way out. All right, you see, and who's to say that with all this talks of cyber attacks and power grids going down and all these other things. All right, they just unplug the lights. All right, and then out of nowhere they just come out. This is the new way of buying and selling. This is the new payment. You know, this is the new way of making payments. The dollar's no longer acceptable. Just however they come out with it. Who's to say that they don't do that? You know, you see, man. So I mean, it's a lot, man. It's a lot going on. Um, they these different food processing plants that have been mysteriously catching fire, right? And come to find out, they've been finding human meat in those processing plants. So, like I mentioned with Dabu 7, he did the video with the power grid striking the tractor companies. That, like I said, that's going to affect the agriculture, which is going to affect the food supply. You know, a lot they're killing off millions of chickens, and it's just a lot, man. It's a lot going on, man. It's a lot. Like I said before, it's a lot to keep up with. And like I said before, the Lord, the way that like we've been given a general we've been given like I said, we know that the famine's coming, pestilence, and all these other things coming, but now we're so to say, we're seeing how the Lord is putting the pieces together. All right, because we haven't been given the details on how these things are going to come about. Well, this is why it's important to pray. Praying is important, but it's important to watch. That's why we're constantly focused on prophecy, man. We're focused on prophecy, man. You see, but I'm gonna get this because again, talked about this. This is what we can look forward to. This is what for people that think that there's a bright future ahead for America. Well, this is America's future. This is what you can look forward to. In Ecclesiastes 12. Ecclesiastes 12. Just want to get to the point. So just bear with me real quick. I mean, this is good too, but I don't think this is what I'm looking for. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Where's that at? There's a precept, man, that talks about I don't know the exact word. I don't think it's not prosperity. Is it prosperity? Let me look that up. prosperity or posterity. Um, but there's a precept that talks about, and I can't get the word right. I can't think of the word. I think it's prosperity or posterity. But basically, when you go when you look into the word, it basically means like the future. Because again, America's future, man, it's not good at all, man. No, maybe I got my. I think I got I don't think I'm looking up the right word. But basically, it's a scripture that talks about America's future. Or basically, when you look into the word, it goes into the like the future. And again, because America's future, man, it's not bright. It's not good at all. Because again, the Lord is closing. He's closing the curtain on this place. You see, and it's just a matter of time before these things hit America. Because as I say, when you save the best for last, well, hey, this is the Lord is saving America for last. All these plagues, all these things, when it hits America, it's going to hit this place the worst. So yeah, man, you know, I'll go ahead and read this since I'm here in Ecclesiastes chapter 2. I'm sorry, Ecclesiastes 12 and 2. While the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened. Matter of fact, I just start at verse 1. Remember now the Creator, thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not. All right, the bad times. All right, perilous times. That's what scriptures talk about. It says, nor the years draw nigh when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. While the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. See, because again, the days of, you know, how's the saying go? You wake up to smother coffee and looking out the window and the sunshine, all that's done away with. All right, now it's this darkness, gloominess. All right, uncertainty, because you people, again, you don't know when the time is going to come. You don't know when your next meal is going to come. You don't know where it's going to come from. All right, you see, so on and so forth, man. You see, so you know, there's not going to be no work out here. Like I said, people are, you're not gonna be able to access your bank accounts. Take care of your family's responsibility. It's gonna get tough, man, for all of us, even the elect. All right, but the difference is the Lord's gonna be with His elect somehow, some way. He's gonna make a way. He's gonna provide a way for His elect. It says, "And the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall raise up the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low." You see, so again, man, you know, this is what's in store for America. This is the future of America. Dark days are ahead for America, and it's just like I said, it's just a matter of time before all these plagues. All right, you know, inflation is only going to get worse. Right, the protests. One thing's going to lead to another. You're going to have protests, riots out here, man. All right, you know, the martial law is eventually going to be enacted. All right, you're going to have all these, um, what do you call it? Um, these I just mentioned it with Sri Lanka. These emergency acts, right? Curfews, all the stuff. You know, it's because another thing you people thought that the lockdowns and the curfews and all that was done away, but no, it's coming back. Those mask mandates, these mandates, these restrictions, it's all coming back. You know, America's gonna be it's gonna be like a dystopian movie, man. It's just gonna be a bad setting out here, man. You know, it's gonna be bad out here, man. And this is why we're gonna need the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai to be with us. You know, Lord's will. You know, so I'm gonna go ahead and end up there. Like I said, man, it's a lot going on. It's a lot more to report on, but you know, hey, this is why we gotta stay on our watch, man. We gotta watch as well as pray. So hopefully this was edifying, giving all praises to Yahweh Shema Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Yahweh Shema Shai, bracket thumb to you, hopefully elect. Lord's will until next time, shalom.